Ever hear about a deal so bad, it's like buying a Ferrari just to find out it's got the engine of a Fiat? Well folks, buckle up because we've got a doozy. Let's talk about the Denver Broncos trade for quarterback Russell Wilson. Now this wasn't just any trade. No sir, the Broncos gave up multiple draft picks and players to acquire Wilson in 2022, then signed him to a whopping $245 million contract extension. That's a lot of zeros, my friends, but here's where it gets interesting. Wilson's performance in 2022 and 2023 was, let's say, less than stellar, so much so that he ended up getting benched by head coach Sean Payton. So, is this the worst trade in NFL history, or is there more to it than meets the eye? Now imagine getting paid millions to sit on a bench. Sounds like a dream job, doesn't it? Well, not if you're Russell Wilson. In the high-stakes world of the NFL, being a bench warmer is a far cry from glory. For Russell Wilson, the star quarterback once heralded as the savior for the Denver Broncos, the bench has become a reluctant home. His performance after the much-vaunted trade has been, well, less than stellar. The once dazzling player who commanded multiple draft picks and players in exchange has been struggling on the field. Despite the Broncos' massive investment in Wilson, head coach Sean Payton made the tough call. Wilson was benched. This decision wasn't just a blow to Wilson's ego. It sent ripples through the team's morale. After all, if their marquee player could be sidelined, what did that mean for the rest of them? Former NFL general manager Michael Lombardi didn't pull any punches when he called the trade the worst deal in NFL history. According to Lombardi, this isn't just a temporary blip. He believes that Wilson's massive contract and the fallout from the trade will have long-lasting negative effects on the Broncos' salary cap, but let's not forget there's still a silver lining for Wilson. Even as he warms the bench, his bank account is anything but cold. With a staggering $245 million contract extension, Wilson is still scoring off the field. With a bench that comfy and a paycheck that hefty, who needs to play anyway, right? So, where does this leave the Broncos? In the doghouse, or is there a silver lining to this cloud of a trade? Well, let's not mince words here. The Denver Broncos are in a tight spot. They've traded away multiple picks and players for Russell Wilson, and then they've handed him a whopping $245 million contract extension, and what do they have to show for it? A couple of seasons of subpar performance and a quarterback who's more comfortable on the bench than on the field. The financial implications of this trade are severe. The Broncos are now in a precarious position with their salary cap, which could limit their ability to bring in new talent. But hey, they say adversity breeds creativity, right? Maybe this financial strain will lead to some unexpected and hopefully successful trades. But what about Wilson? Does he still have a market? Well, the guy didn't become a Super Bowl winning quarterback by accident. He's got talent, there's no denying that. Perhaps a change of scenery could reignite that spark. Or maybe he'll find his calling in a different role. I hear there's quite a demand for professional bench warmers these days. On a serious note, the Broncos' future may seem bleak right now, but let's remember that the NFL is full of surprises. Teams have bounced back from worse situations, and who's to say the Broncos can't do the same? Well, if nothing else, the Broncos have certainly given us a wild ride. And who knows? Maybe Wilson will find his groove again, or maybe he'll start a new career as a professional bench warmer. Only time will tell. Well, folks, it's been a roller coaster. From a blockbuster trade to a bench warmer, this story had it all. In the wild world of NFL, the Denver Broncos made a move that had everyone talking: the acquisition of Russell Wilson. It was a deal that raised many eyebrows, especially when the Broncos signed him to a whopping $245 million contract extension. But as the saying goes, not all that glitters is gold. Wilson's performance turned out to be less than stellar, leading to his unexpected stint as a bench warmer. His subpar play in 2022 and 2023 has left many wondering about the wisdom of the trade and the future of the Broncos. The trade, coupled with Wilson's massive contract, could potentially have a long-lasting impact on the Broncos' salary cap. But hey, in the unpredictable world of sports, who knows what might happen next? Maybe Wilson will bounce back, or perhaps he'll find a new home if the Broncos decide to cut him loose. Well, that's it from us. We'll be back with more sports drama, more questionable trades, and of course, more bench warmers. Until then, keep cheering, keep jeering, and keep those hot dogs coming. Good night, folks.